Slam.
Hey, whoa, man. Welcome back to another great episode of Two Paths Podcast. Well, you already know you got your main man, the postman, my main man, LD, my other main man, D. Ryle. And before we get into it, y'all already know where I'm going. If you haven't, please, I'm inviting you over to YouTube to subscribe to our channel at Two Paths Podcast. It's something that you really wouldn't want to miss out. Today, we're going to talk about overcoming the imposter syndrome. And a lot of people may not understand where this topic is going to take us, but sit back and enjoy the ride. LD, go ahead.
Hey, we don't even know where it's going to take us, but we're going to drive today.
Okay.
So imposter syndrome, I'm going to read this because it's really good. It's a psychological phenomenon where you experience intense, persistent self-doubt and fear being exposed as a fraud despite clear evidence of your competence and success. So you're living your regular life. And what you're afraid of is that your doubt, even though you're very adequate, you're a whole person. But sometimes what happens is that self-doubt creeps in. And even though people see you as successful, things start to happen on the inside to create doubt. So even though you're successful on the outside, you still feel like you're failing or you have a high level of doubt. And when failure starts to happen, even though you're performing on the outside, you start to crumble on the inside. And that's where everything starts, on the inside. It says it is extremely common, affecting up to 70% to 82% of people at some point in their lives. And it can become a cycle, a proverbial cycle, to where you experience intense, persistent self-doubt or fear of being exposed. Well, damn, you say, well, what type of self-doubt can you be having if you out there winning in life? Are you winning?
And then the fear of being exposed, I mean, as if like you're being somebody that you're really truly not, or having the perception that you're somebody that you're not. Does that make sense?
Yep. Well, it goes into being a perfectionist.
Oh, no.
You think you should be doing it better when this is actually what we talked about the other day. This is your reality. So you could be winning and still think you failing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that keeps you kind of honest when you look at it that way, because like, you know, you're out there winning, doing great things, and then you're thinking about like, if this were here happened, I got to have a contingency plan, or you know, you're doubting yourself. You know, it's almost like people who going on a path to be professionals, right? If you fall off your path and have any self-doubt, right? That person that has no doubt is moving in confidence, moving in a different way, and your self-doubt will expose that you're not as focused as you think you are.
Well, in the imposter syndrome, it's the other way around. You winning, but you don't feel like you winning.
So it's really like
you the imposter.
Yeah, you stumbled off from the win, but you're really not that person.
This is like somebody coming to tell you, damn boy, you was on your game tonight, and then you come back and say, really? Was I? So you become the imposter within your game because everybody else see that you're winning, but guess who don't see it? You don't see that you're winning. You don't feel good about what you're doing. Some interruptions happen in your life. You overcame them, but you still think that you could have did better. But winning over the imposter syndrome is taking a step back and saying, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna be okay. And you see this show up in high level achievers.
Hey, I'm just finna say, man, I think that's me or something. How you explain it?
Perfectionist. Yeah, perfectionist.
Hey, so this is what we gonna do, right?
I'm an imposter, man. I can't, man. I ain't gonna live with myself. I can't be fake, man. I just can't do it.
Because this is the thing. Larry, and I appreciate you even bringing the definition of it that and giving us a breakdown, and you as well, Coach, with your feedback on that. Because we're gonna deal with two different things right here. We're gonna deal with that self-doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna transition into the exposure part. So when we're talking about the self-doubt, you just made a great example that you're winning, but you don't even believe in yourself that you're winning. Other people can see you winning, but in your mind, I ain't doing enough, or I could be doing so much better. Instead of accepting the fact that right now I am winning and I can continue to work on winning to improve my winning streak, you already done place yourself way ahead. Like, nah. So we got a fear of dealing with reality. I'm gonna sum it up. We got a fear of dealing with the reality of the thing that you're going through right then in that moment, right? Because life is not truly based on day to day, but it's moment to moment. So you want to capture the moment, but even in capturing the moment, it's still not enough for you. You feel like you can be doing more, you should be doing more, or you're required to do more than what you're capable of doing. Your capabilities say this is what you can do. Your capabilities show this is what you're capable of doing. But psychologically, you so warped and fucked up mentally that you saying, "No, I'm way better than that." No, that's where you're at right now. You can become way better than that if you continue to do the work. But right now, in this moment, that's where you're at.
Well, no. Watch this, Cam. They are good. So if you give a test and there's the 100% is the highest you can get, and this person get a 99 and a half, they'll feel like they failed. So what they're saying is, okay, I got a chance to get 100%. If I don't get 100%, it's just like if you win or if you come in second place. I mean, if you lose by 2 and win the state championship game, I'm like, damn, you made it to the state championship game. You beat all these teams, and it was just 2 teams left in your conference or your division, and whoever wins gonna be in first place. But now the second place winner is gonna. But now you see the second place winner cheering because they say, "Damn, we got this far. We made it. Good job, fellas. Let's regroup and let's revisit it next year." Then you got somebody on the team that actually won. Their team won, and then the quarterback mad because he ain't throw for 300 yards.
It's hard to deal with them jokers there.
And I'm sure, Demetrius, you done seen this. Y'all win a game, and you got that one player on your team. Mm-hmm. He mad. The goal was to win. Imposter syndrome just did what? Y'all won and should be celebrating. But that person now has just been exposed of who he is because the team goal was we're going to win. But now he mad because he only got 10 points that game and his goal probably was 20 points. But he only got 10 points. Everybody contributed. Y'all won. Now he's salty or feeling some type of way. That's imposter syndrome right there because he felt he should have did better in the game. Well, whoa, we winning. That's imposter syndrome.
That's like hating. He wasn't even invested into the team. No.
He a part of the team. He on your team.
He ain't happy for the win. He ain't happy for the win.
So what happened was you had people in even couples in relationships. Wife start winning. She don't want to stay home no more. She want to go start her career.
Get off.
Husband already been working. Making money. Now she go out. She land a job and she making more money than him now.
Okay.
He sneak hating now. Which now, watch this. when I was winning, right? When we was winning, and I was getting what I want and doing what I wanted to do, right? Had you where I wanted you. Now we winning. But now when I lose control of you, now I start to fear and doubt myself, what type of man I am, because now you was able to get up off the couch and go out there and get a job, but you make more money than me now. Now, guess who's gonna be exposed?
Well,
He is.
yeah, but he should. To me, that in that instance, he shouldn't be. You shouldn't have that in you. You should be like, okay, that we went. The responsibility doesn't change. It's just money change.
And
you
that's why they call it the syndrome.
Yeah, man. Cause just cause you make more money, that don't change the status of like what y'all built off. You just like you're the one who's winning when it comes to financial, but let's say the man is the one who manages it all. You know what I'm saying? And you're pouring into the team. So whatever that other person make or whatever they do, their success, that's my success too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give the glory and the light and everything to the person who really deserves it. But at the same time, like if as a married person, that both of us getting that really, because I'm so happy for that person winning, and when they losing, I be pissed off when they losing too, because I got to deal with. I'm part of that. But everybody,
so you don't have imposter syndrome in that area, right?
Right, but it's gonna be some areas that I may have it in. I don't know what it is, because all of us, got to have it somehow. You just don't want to have it in those certain places in it, or whatever. But it's gonna happen.
So that's why they call it a syndrome, because it's a collective. It's a collective of things happening within, right? That creates a certain condition. And that's the syndrome. The imposter is, you're not, like Cam said, you're not real. That's not realistic. So how can I move from being unrealistic? Because the world say, man, you got to go out there and be extraordinary. You got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and be unrealistic. You got to go out there and think big, think beyond the box, right? And sometimes people communicate that for now, I got to be perfect. So I gotta do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, Y, G every day to Z every day. And if I miss one of those, I ain't no good. I'm gonna start doubting myself, and I'm gonna start doubting myself, and I'm gonna start unraveling on the inside.
That's a tough
because
one.
I'm not.
That's a tough one because you got some people who are driven like that. It's like their DNA is like they're gonna go hard. Like they may have won, but they really wanted to win this way and do it this way, and they're gonna keep striving for that perfection because that's how they're driven. You know what I'm saying? Versus the imposter, like they know what they knew, they set out just to win, and they were satisfied they barely win. They got there, then they act like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. But you got some people that are on that high level of, you may say they think they're imposter, but they're really that person. And we, until we come around those type, because you don't see them type of people every day. Those are those 1%ers sometimes, because it's a level of insanity that they got to operate in, to achieve their goal and what they sought out for, and their truth. But then you got some of
take this for instance.
Okay.
Code switching.
Who?
Code switching.
Code switching. What that is?
That's imposter syndrome.
I don't know what code.
So it's when you enter into a group and you don't enter into that group with your authentic self. You first be quiet, you hear what the group talking about, and then you join in.
Ooh. Right?
And then now you don't talk how you would talk. Now you how can I say? Now you add different words, right, to your vocabulary to now fit in, right? Mm-hmm. Or you talk a certain way, or you act a certain way. That's not no. But now, when you leave that group, you like, Man, shit, I couldn't wait to get up out that motherfucker, man. Damn, right?
Whew.
You like, man, that motherfucker wasn't talking about shit. Man, god damn. Motherfucker, I was playing double dutch in that bitch trying to wait for a motherfucker to stop talking, right? Okay, I'm out there. Hey, man, I'm hollering at y'all, boy. Y'all take it easy. Enjoy yourself, man. I got a call, man. Let's go and get on out of here. But what you did before that, you invited yourself into that syndrome just now. And then you left, and then now you grabbed back, you went and grabbed the coat of who you really were, right? And then you exited the building. But you see how exhausting that can be for even just that short of time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, and also, Larry, because I listening to what Coach just said, he made a real good, strong point, right? To the point where he said, you have some people that is actually driven to a certain point in their life where they have developed this mentality that it's either all or nothing, this perfectionist mentality. Like, I got to be like the best or don't do it at all, right? I ain't gonna let nothing and no one outdo me, right? Now we're dealing with the realistic part about this. There's no way that there's nobody ever gonna be able to outdo you in something, right? So, to get back to what Larry was saying, Coach, is that's when the imposter syndrome clicks on, because you done created this persona of this image about yourself that I am the best. I ain't selling for nothing but numero uno in whatever I'm doing. And you overly work yourself to get to that point. And then when you never reach it, or you run into someone that is better than you, then you tear yourself down. You start to, that's where the self-doubt kicks in at. Oh, nigga, you ain't who you thought you was anyway. You get to having these talks with yourself. Sorry, motherfucker. I can't believe you went out there and blowed it like that there. Other people around you telling you, you'll get them next time, champ. You telling them like, nah, that ain't enough for me. So Coach, when you say people get driven like that, a lot of times you're conditioned and train your mind to be on that pathway. Is that a bad thing? Nah, because that's who you are in that moment, right? But once that moment has passed you by, can you continue to be that person? And that's where the fear of exposure comes in. Because I don't want to be exposed as being something that I'm truly not. Because I done took on this image and this persona that this who I am. And this what I done put out for the world. What the world can see is your true authentic self. But you don't give the world your true authentic self because mentally you don't warp yourself and psych yourself out and hype yourself up so much that you done took on this image and you wholeheartedly believe this me. And that's not really who you are. Am I?
It's people like
Go ahead,
it's
Coach.
people like that. It's people like that for real.
You motherfucker right. Between 70 and 82% of the world either going through it or done been through it or getting ready to go through it.
Man,
Statistically proven.
like I mean, like when I come out the crib, man, I'm just as free as it can be, dog. Like I don't be caring about that status. Like sometimes sometimes people have to remind me, say, man, you know, like you can't be around, you can't do. I say, man, what you mean? I'm human just like y'all. Like I can go in. Oh no, it ain't good look for you. Like, well, show me what a good look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like they have for instance, like you know, I'm growing my hair out and dress, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
You
putting
doing
on no
well?
persona for nothing. I'm just letting
You said
my
you
hair.
growing,
I can
you said
grow
you
it.
growing it out?
Yeah, I can grow it, and I'm gonna grow it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now somebody else, right, may say, "Oh, he trying to be like, no, it ain't nothing. It's just hair." And then other people who will look at you in the sense like, "Oh, he must be going some, you know, this and that. He got a Denny or whatever." They can say all them things, and they're totally wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and then you ask your person, it's like, man, I just want to wear my natural hair and just let it grow and do whatever. Is there something bad about that? Like, you got to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's certain things that, how people are, that it's a little fine tuning when it goes to being an imposter, because like what we may perceive or think that they are, and they can be plain Jane, and like, and it's like, if I'm gonna do something and I step out this, I like to do things to be the best, and I will, like, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. In the Army, they got this thing called the Artie Murphy board, right? That, man, I'm talking about like less than 1% in it, and I happen to be one of them. But I think I tried 3 times, right? Some people can try for infinity and never make it. You got to recite the Artie Murphy bio, which is about 2 pages long. You can't miss a word, right? And you got to say that in front of a panel. And then you got all this other stuff. I mean, it's go on and on. But just think about this. That's just one thing that you got to recite verbatim. You miss a word, out of here. And so think about you trying to get to that level of perfection. And then you got to memorize a lot of other stuff verbatim. But that one right there will definitely, and they may throw it to you at any time. So it's not like you can just say, okay, after such questions, I'm gonna have to say it. And when they spring it on you, you got to perform, right? So, are you an imposter if you get there and you say, I'm bigger than that?
Nah, because so it's 2 different things.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
When you say you're bigger than that's you, right?
Right.
That's you. The syndrome comes when you go outside and you start to now say, I'm better than them. I'm better than that over there.
That makes sense, because like that's why I asked Cam, I was like, man, it's gonna be hard for me to talk about this, because like I could never. That's why actually people think like this. I can't see myself going out and say, man, I'm better than y'all. Like, in a sense of like what I accomplished, that I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're competing, right, man, I shoot free throws better than you. That could be a fact. Or I say you'll never be able to beat me. That could be a fact. Well, you know what I'm saying? So, but the syndrome itself is like, does it go with ego or delusional, saying that you can't be better than, that you're better than when you go outside and do that?
Nah, it's not. Nah. So the syndrome is so it's a inner working of, right? It's the inner working of parts, right, that drive you because of probably some reason that happened in childhood, some trauma or something.
Okay.
But it drives you a specific way within. And a lot of people are not going to understand that way, but you know why you do what you do. That's the syndrome. Because now, no matter if your parents, nothing you did at the house was good enough, you go out into the world and you say, what? Yeah. Everything I do is going to be good enough.
Right.
So even though that might be your mantra, right? You still suffer with that syndrome, because now it ain't whole. It's still broken. You are doing well in life, but from the origination to now, you are focused on being good enough. So it ain't got nothing to do. We're not knocking people who are driven. We're talking about the underlying factors that created the syndrome to now creating who you are and why you act the way you act. And that's why it's a very high number, because a lot of us are delusional in the things that we take action in. Because most of the time, if you go back far enough to origin, and if you allow yourself to think back, you're going to start to put the dots to the puzzle together. Because you're gonna be like, you know what? If I'm really truthful with myself, it's just like me. Why I get it? Why I'm so excited and like I happy go lucky and energetic and upbeat? Because I came. My mom was always a depressing figure. She was mean. She was never like really happy for nobody. So me, I said, you know what? Can't live like that. Can't do it. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna see how that works. That's a motherfucking syndrome, whether I would like it or not. That's a syndrome. If I'm too nice, too overbearing, I'm greedy, or I give too much, all of this is linked to an origin, which is the syndrome. Well, you gotta understand the difference between the two characters, the imposter and you. So am I okay with am I okay with letting go of the origin? If I'm okay with letting go of the origin, guess what else gonna happen in life? Some of those foundations that I built are going to start to fall as well. Because I don't care about those anymore when I let go of the story or the origin. Now I'm whooping the syndrome, but now as I whoop the syndrome, guess what's gonna happen in my life? I'm not gonna care about some of those things that I used to care about. So now I got a decision to make. Do I want to hold the pillars up and keep this syndrome and allow it to run parallel with who I am? Because I think all of us, and we don't want to speak like we speak in ill will against ourselves, but I even think that I got some imposter in me because of the origin. When I go back, I look and I'm like, but I like how I feel. So I said, okay, I like this origin because sometimes the origin can now propel you to become better. So now you're running parallel. Okay, I know that I'm not like, it's not natural to be happy all the time, right? To be excited all the time or to feel good all the time. But what if I can move into a state of oasis?
Wait. And hold on, go ahead, coach. I'm gonna come back. So, and that's why I told you to go ahead, coach, because I needed to hear that, right? Because I kind of felt like that's where you were going at with that. But you said something. You say, "What if it is?" As creatures of nature, right? Human beings, so we or whatever, we have different emotions, right? And the possibility of finding a person that is always happy is so rare. It's so rare that I don't even think of one has been found yet. You know what I'm saying? Because there has to be something. There's something that's going to happen at a certain moment in your life that's going to stop you from being happiness, and it's going to create a sadness to you, or make you mad, or something. And if you can now getting back to the happiness is going to be a practice, but there has to be something that takes you away from that. Just like it has, you have to have a reason to why you're going to be happy all the time. And where's the origin at? So let's go back to the origin, like what Larry just took us through. Maybe growing up, they was always sad or miserable or mad about things, and they didn't like that feeling. They don't like that feeling. So I'm gonna create. I'm gonna get delusional that there's nothing in this world that's gonna make me ever feel like that again, right? And I'm gonna always be happy. And then, like we was talking about earlier, it's not what goes on the inside, but it's what the image that you put out for the world to see creates the imposter. Because outwardly, I'm happy go lucky. I'm unfazed. Life
Mhm.
will beat your ass and take you through some things that there's no way that you're gonna always be happy. But the reality of it is what? Exactly. So, but outwardly to the world, you gonna put up this image like it's not going on, and that's
Mhm.
what the syndrome kick in at as well, right? Because it's almost like a shield or defense mechanism that you use to protect your feelings. Because we have feelings. We are emotional beings. So sometimes we will act off our emotions, and sometimes we know how to control our emotions. And you'll get to a place in life where your new norm does not consist of the old norm. Your new norm consists of this image that you have, this facade that you have created because of the feeling that it gives you. But and even with that, right? Because that's a great analogy, dog. And you have to understand, like you just said, some people are mentally strong. Everybody is not in the fight or flight mode in their life because everybody ain't operating out of their emotions. So when you got that intact, when you can be in control of your emotions, when you can manage your emotions, then you can dictate how your life is gonna go, right?
Mhm.
Also, those people can be like what Larry was saying. I'm gonna go back here. His upbringing at certain points over time seemed depressing, right? Coach, you
Mhm.
probably done had those feelings, and I know personally I've had those feelings. You know what I'm saying? And I know that as a child, once you grow up and you begin to become knowledgeable about who you are, right? And then you discover what your capabilities of. It's certain things that you felt growing up you never want to feel again. So the origin of your trauma can catapult you, right? Now, let's talk about overcoming this state of delusion or this imposter syndrome. How do you overcome that? Larry made a good statement. He said, well, do you overcome it? Because overcoming it means you got to dead a whole lot of shit you done went through or forget it. And you can't forget it, but you got to remove yourself or detach from that. But detaching from that is also going to take away from everything that I done built after that. Because what I built after that was a part of that. Because I was still attached to that. The reason I did these things is because of how that made me feel. If that don't make me feel like that, I don't develop this over here. So having the syndrome, being an imposter don't always necessarily, it may sound negative, and your fear of being exposed, the fear of exposure may come from this here. You don't want people to get too close to you because you love hard and you care a lot, and you don't want nobody to play with your emotions or your feelings because of you know who you are and how that's going to affect you as an individual. So you put up this shield or this armor that I got to stiff arm everybody. But that's not really who you are, because the people that really get to know you and that you allow in your circle, they like, oh no. So the imposter is who you don't put out for the world. Oh, that nigga that crazy. No, he's not crazy. I personally know him. He's not crazy. No, we know two different people. And you just said this, ball. Sometimes you can meet two different people and it be one person, but you got to know one person and they get to know one person. Well, the reason you got to know that person is because of the relationship over time that you, and the time that you have spent developing this relationship. You got to meet the real person. The imposter is who he had to be for the world because of his feelings. People don't want to feel attacked. People don't want to feel hurt because I've been hurt. I know what it's like to be hurt. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be. I don't. That's not. I don't desire to be hurt again. So I keep people away. But that's not who I am. But it's what I got to do. So I have. So sometimes you have to let this run parallel with your life because it's a shield of protection. It protects you from the world and people and things of the world. And
Hold
that's
on, now you
okay.
said at the beginning. Now you said you don't know how people, hey, people actually living with, bro, and that's why, and this is one of the reasons why it's hard for people to change.
A title. So yeah, and see, this is what happens in life, right? People will get caught up on a title or a label that has been put on a word and attach it to them and say, "Oh hell no, that ain't me." When the whole time it's them, right there.
Well, look at, okay, so if you go to sports, look at, we'll take LeBron James. Take LeBron James, right? LeBron James been showing us year after year what he can do. If LeBron James go one season and he have a bad season or he averaged 25 and 2, right? People gonna say, I knew he wasn't about that life.
That's the
Or
best analogy you could have made right there.
or if LeBron said, after all those years of doing what he do, say, damn, I ain't that good. I'm not. So you got successful people, people who winning, suffering on the inside with the belief or the origin of the trauma to now do what? And that's why you see a lot of comedians, right? if you talk to a lot of comedians, the reason why they make other people laugh is because they crying on the inside. The syndrome is happening everywhere. You got actors who love acting roles. They're good at acting in roles. But when they get back to the role of living, they suffer. They digress. So it's the origin of the trauma that's creating the imposter. So sometimes now the imposter can be looked at as, because we know syndrome is medical. So now the imposter is somebody's salve or medication for the imposter.
So, and no, it won't, Paul. Because listen, the imposter is the medication for the syndrome. It helps you. Being the imposter helps you in your day-to-day living, in your life, because that's your shield of protection. That's who you have. You had to create this in order not to feel like this.
Look at a lot of women who are in relationships, right? And they're not free to be who they are, and they got to walk on eggshells around their husbands because he might have a temper, or he's angry, or he's fidgety, right? So now, who is she to become if she want to stay with him? She can't be herself. So now she has to become what? An imposter.
But you just said it, Paul. That's the fear of exposure. When you really realize you just said, bingo, ding, 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 ding. I ain't even know that was you. Because when I met you, that wasn't you. But the whole time that was you, but you done put up an image to present to me that really wasn't you. And that's what, and that's it. That's it. Listen. And this is the thing about life, right? As you continue to live through life and continue to grow, these are the type of things and people that you're going to run into, right? And a lot of times you can see, and that's why you'll hear people say, man, I see myself in another individual. I can see myself in you. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like older people when it comes to youth. I can see myself in that kid right there, man. He remind me a lot of me because of what I have created for myself. Now I'm beginning to look at it in real time. But does he? Because who am I really? And that's when delusion really kicks in. Is that when you can convince yourself that you're something that you're not, and you continue to do this, then you begin to believe it. So you forget who you are to become something that you're not. And guess what? The world will test you. Life will test you. The universe is gonna test you. And when you become tested, that's when you, not the image, not the persona, not the figment, not none of the other shit, but you and only you will crumble because you have not been who you were supposed to be for yourself.
Boy, that's hey. This right here, boy. This is this is a cup of tea right here, boy. Hey,
So before we wrap this thing up, man, any last words y'all want to leave them with?
hey, let's tell them some cures to this imposter syndrome. The first one is accepting you at your core. the best of you and the worst of you, right? Accepting all of you and understanding that you are nothing but you. And everything else is additions. It's just like when you buy meat from the grocery store, you don't just throw the meat into the pan, right? You put all this shit on it, and then you let it marinate, get in there, and then you cook it, right? To give you a good taste, right? But you're not that. You're the meat. What people don't want to understand is that the meat is bland. The meat is bland, and most people don't want bland shit in their life. And that's why they don't accept themselves, because they think bland is bad. No, you are you. Without all the seasoning and all the sauce from the outside, you got to understand that you are you, and you have to exercise your person through all this shit every day in order to become joyful. Because happiness is temporary, it's based on outside circumstances. But to become at a baseline joyful person and a person who really enjoys themselves, they will start to now at a baseline level say, okay, they start to sit down with themselves. And that's what I had to do, because my persona was getting bigger than me. Even in college, when people start calling, your persona is big when people give you a nickname, because you never give yourself a nickname. They give you a nickname, and then they treat you as such. Just like Cam and just like Demetrius, which we call him Ball, Meatball. Your persona now starts to get big, grow bigger than you. But that's not who you are. That's who people see you as or know you as. So you start to now, over time, like we said, you built yourself on this persona. And then now you get to a point to where you be like, man, that ain't me. That ain't me. So I would say you have to really find a way to start accepting you for who you are right now.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, and I'm gonna leave them with this: kill the image before it kill you, right? And the reason I'm gonna leave them with kill the image before it kills you, because a lot of times the image that you create for yourself, like Larry just said, the world will give you a nickname, right? But to that nickname, you got to put a visual with it. So that's the image. Don't allow that image to deter you from being your true authentic self, right? Don't allow that image to get you in situations that when you test it, when you game test it, you crumble. Because the fear of exposure is the imposter. You don't want the world to see who you really are. But if you are who you say you are, not to the world but to yourself, you don't give a fuck what the world say. You ain't doing it for the world. You're doing it for you. So like Larry say, spend some time with yourself. Get to know self, right? I ain't telling you to revisit those trauma situations. I ain't telling you to go trauma bond to make those things right. Things that has happened in your life, they've happened. We can't change those things. But what you do have full control of is your now. So allow your now to be your starting point at getting to know self and working on self and removing the bullshit out of your life. And that's another great episode of that Two Paths Podcast. Peace.